Hey, 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 welcome. We are in week number 9 of our virtual book club for Think and Grow Rich. I am so excited, and I hope you are too. I hope you're following along with the videos if you're not following along with the book. But this week, we're talking about persistence, and persistence is the sustained effort that's necessary to induce faith. That's what it says. Persistence is the sustained effort that's necessary to induce faith. Okay, so I'm sitting here looking at myself. I'll get back to that in a minute. I got all these glares going on in my face, and part of it is because my lights are off now. Before I had my lights set up a different way. They weren't the best, but they definitely didn't have all this. But when I changed my room around, and I think I talked to you about changing my room around because I was trying to make it more feng shui, and it really is. I love the way my office is set up right now. It really works for me, but the lights are not right yet. So I'm going to have to work on that this week. But anyway, until I get that right, bear with me. But as I said, persistence is the sustained effort that's necessary to induce faith. So to believe that you can and to know that you can, you have to put forth an effort, continue to put forth the efforts, and be persistent in doing it. Meaning not give up at the first turn, the first obstacle that comes your way, to keep pressing forward until you achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. So I want to just share some things with you that this book talked about. And one of the things that I thought was that stood out to me, it says, without persistence, you will be you will be defeated before you even begin. With persistence, you will win. You have to have that mindset of no matter what, I'm going to make this happen. No matter what. No matter what obstacle comes your way, no matter what opposition comes your way, no matter what words people say to you in your ear, no matter what, you're going to keep pressing forward. You're going to make this happen and be persistent. So that was really good for me. There's a lot of great nuggets in this book, but I do want to share with you something that it talks about with persistence because as a way to cultivate persistence, because it is a state of mind. And the first thing that it talks about is that knowing what one wants is the first and probably the most important step towards the development of persistence. Number 2, desire. It is easy to acquire and maintain persistence in pursuing whatever it is that you desire. So it needs to be something that you desire. C, self-reliance. Believing in your ability to carry out a plan and to follow a plan through with persistence. Having a plan, having an organized plan, even though they may be weak and impractical, but it encourages persistence. So have a plan. Having the knowledge that you need, knowing that your plans are sound based on your experience, observation, things of that thing that encourage persistence. It's not guessing and hoping and wishing. That's not going to make you persistent. But you need to know that if you continue to be persistent, something's going to happen. And it's going to move you towards whatever it is that you want to move towards. Cooperation, it talks about that. Sympathy, understanding, and harmonious cooperation with others tend to develop persistence. Having willpower, the habit of concentrating on your thoughts upon the building of plans for the attainment of whatever it is that you want, that leads to persistence. And habit, persistence is the direct result of habits. The mind absorbs and becomes a part of the daily experiences upon which it feeds. Fear, this is what it says, the worst of all enemies, can be effectively cured by forced repetition of acts of courage. Now, how many of you know that? It's one of those things I was just talking about as we moved into this new year. One of the things that stood out for me last year was when I auditioned for Tyler Perry. Now, I'm not an actor. I've never had a desire to be an actor, but what I did know is that that was going to take me outside of my comfort zone. And I love doing things that are kind of scary because it really allows me to see how far I can stretch myself. And that's what this is saying. Like, you have to continue to do things over and over and over that requires you to be courageous so that you can know that fear doesn't even have a place here. Like, it really is something imaginary that we make up for ourselves, but we need to know that we can achieve whatever it is that we want to, and just learn to stretch ourselves and recognize that even if we stretch ourselves and fail, there is still something we can get from that. I'm not going to go through it. Also talks about symptoms of lack of persistence, and I'm not going to go through all that, but I can tell you one of them is procrastination. We talked about that the last time. And wishing instead of willing, right? So we want to make sure that we focus on those things that I talked about that will help us change our mindset and cultivate a mind of persistence. So that's having a purpose, a desire, being self reliant, having plans, having the knowledge that's necessary to achieve what it is that we want, cooperation with other people. We're going to talk about masterminds next week, and that's important as well. Willpower, and also making it a habit to be persistent and not allowing fear to get in our way, because fear does not serve us, not when we're going towards our big goals or whatever the goals are. So that is really all I want to share with persistence. As I said before, you can, well, I'm going to share four more things, but as I said before, if you want to follow along, you can just Google Think and Grow Rich chapter, whatever, and follow every chapter. They're out there on the internet for you to read without having to buy the book. But there were four steps that the book talked about on how to develop persistence. The first is having a purpose backed by a burning desire. That kind of goes with what I talked about before. Having the plan expressed in continuous action. So we can have a plan, but we have to act on it every day and continue to move forward. One of the things that I do with my coaching clients, every week I ask, what steps can you take towards what it is that you want to achieve? What steps can you take during this week? And every day, take a step so that you're continuously moving forward. Number three, a mind closed tightly against all negative and discouraging influences. So that negative self-talk that we have, get rid of that. The negative talk that we have from other people, right? Get rid of that. So negative self-talk, of course, is from self. But the other talk coming from the external talk, we want to make sure we get rid of that. And that includes your relatives, your family, your friends. And the fourth thing is a friendly alliance with one or more persons who will encourage you along the way and help you or hold you accountable. Maybe that's a better word, to go through or follow through with the plans that you have in place. So we all need that person that's going to support us through and to cheer us on, but also hold us accountable for when we're not doing what it is that we are supposed to be doing. So those are the four steps that are essential for success when you're trying to develop persistence. And they kind of go along with those other things that I talked about when I talked about the mindset. But really, just make sure that you know and believe that you can achieve it, and you're not going to give up. Like, whatever the goal is, make it a no matter what. And if you have to write that on your mirror in the bathroom so you can see it when you're brushing your teeth or wherever you need to see it, no matter what, I'm going to keep on pressing. I'm going to keep on pushing forward. And then next week, we will come back and we will talk about masterminds. I'm sure you all have heard about masterminds and the power of them. If not, then we'll talk about it a little more for you. And yeah, and they are powerful. I've been a part of a few masterminds, and they definitely help me. Just because there's people who have knowledge that I don't have, and then also they hold me accountable for the things that I say I'm going to do. So we will come back with that next week. But thank you for joining me in this lesson. I hope that when we come back, I got this light thing figured out. If not, I'm going to be looking in this T-zone, right? In this T-zone, I'm going to be blurry. I mean, have this light reflecting off of it. But anyway, Have a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing you all the next time. Take care of yourself. Bye bye.